Hey everyone, welcome to 9mm Retirement Radio, a cowboy-era Delta Green actual play podcast set in 1988. We'll also tell other stories in this universe set prior to 1988 and in the year 2003 and onward called side operas. I'm Max, the main handler for the campaign.
I'm Lukas. I am going to be playing Vincent Peterson.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I'm playing Eddie Vittorio.
Hello, I'm Jan. I'm playing Scott Macallan.
Hello, my name is Caius. I will be playing Dr. Rufus A. Kimble.
I want to give special thanks to Chris Hamjay and Avery Alexander for their musical contributions to our show, and Leaf for our show art, character portraits, and our incredible logo. Please check the show notes for their links, our social media account on Instagram, and for content warnings. And now, welcome to Operation Stonefall. Hello? Are you the same man I spoke with before?
Yes, Mr. Haney.
So Delta Green believes me this time?
Don't say that name again, Mr. Haney. Refer to us as the group if you must.
Right. Sorry.
The pattern you described is too much of a coincidence to be ignored, and my boss hates coincidences. So yes, we believe you. Did you receive the package yet? It should have arrived at your home yesterday.
Yes, sir. And as requested, I bought a clean vehicle. I know a guy who knows a guy.
Very good. In 2 days' time, you'll meet 4 of our guys at the airport in that vehicle. Their flights should arrive at 7 a.m. Brief them on what you know, exactly as you told it to me, and offer them as much support as you can. I know you have connections out there, despite your retired status.
I haven't exactly took the car home with me yet, so what should I say to my wife?
That's not my problem, Mr. Haney.
Oh, right. Okay.
Remember, your job is to brief them and provide support on the outside. Do not engage with the team during their investigation. We need you to stay neutral. Got it?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Very good.
Hey, wait. Can I at least get, your name or code name or something? You know, so this don't feel so impersonal.
I suppose you can call me Carradine, like the acting family. Good luck, Mr. Haney.
What the fuck am I gonna tell my wife? It's the year 1988, specifically a Friday, August 5th. The shoulder pads and the hair are huge, and the colors are neon. The Walkman cassette player is the new, rad way to carry music in the palm of your hand. Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out in theaters a few months ago. The Soviets began their withdrawal from Afghanistan. It's a time closer to Apollo 11 than to our own. Far to the southwestern United States, in Red River, New Mexico. Let's say at this point it's about 7 a.m. One man in particular is just starting their day. Jan, what's Scott Macallan up to starting out on his Friday morning?
Well, first off, angrily slapping that alarm clock. Fuck that shit. Look, I set it up 4-7, but goddamn it, I never want to get up. The next step is to get some goddamn coffee in me. So I make my way upstairs, and I immediately smell the brewing of coffee on the stove and the humming of my landlord and flatmate, Roger Driscoll.
Yeah, Roger's already up, and he's making breakfast. Just some bacon cooking. You can smell eggs. Some toast pops out of the toaster, and he says, good morning. Want any?
Good morning. Of course, as always. Thank you.
He'll grab a plate, and he'll start shoveling some bacon and eggs out, and a slice of toast. Walks over to the table, sets it in front of you, does the same with his own plate, and sits across from you. Do you two talk about anything, or do you just sit there in silence?
We mostly sit in silence because, of course, we're in an awkward situation where he's my landlord, but also my boss, being the head librarian of Red River County Public Library.
Of course.
So what could we possibly talk about work that we don't already know? And as for our personal lives, well, both of us work well together because we keep those close to our chest.
And that makes sense. He sits down, takes a sip of coffee, nods, eats his breakfast. You eat your breakfast. And eventually it's time for you to head to the library in Red River.
Yep.
Does he drive you? Do you drive? What's that situation like? Do you take your own cars?
So he drives, I walk. And so I usually set out an hour earlier before he does, just to make sure I can walk the distance between his house and the library.
Okay. Yeah, so you two finish up eating. He's filling up another, a thermos of coffee, and he sees you about to go out the door, and he just nods and says, well, I will see you in a little bit then.
All right, see you then.
And you walk out the door, and you begin the walk to the Red River Public Library.
Yeah, this time of year, the snow has begun to melt, but it's still sufficiently cold out that I have my jacket on. And I check my revolver.
In August?
Oh, yeah, high altitude.
Just thinking because it was the summer and whatnot.
No, it's the summer, but, so snow's not fallen yet, but the upper summit has continued to melt, bringing melt water down to the town.
Okay. Already there, earlier than you even, earlier than your boss, is Elena Collins, your colleague.
I'll nod to her as I walk in and say, Elena, good morning.
Morning, Scott. How you doing this morning? It's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
Hey, something came overnight to the library, but it has your name on it.
That right?
And she walks over around to a book cart for packages and whatnot, and she hands it to you. It looks like it's a thin envelope in this case, with no return address, but the address is to the Red River Public Library, and it's addressed to you.
All right. I will open it.
You'll open it. Okay. So what you see inside is a plane ticket. Just a glance at it. Do you open it all up here right now in front of her, or do you want to just take a glance inside?
So I'll turn my back to her, but I will open it up.
So yeah, inside you see a plane ticket that looks like it's for arrival of early tomorrow morning in Wichita, Kansas at the Wichita Mid-Continent Airport. There's a slip of paper saying 7 a.m. Black Dodge Ram Charger. And then on the back of that, there are 3 hand-drawn diagrams showing what from your eye appears to be a hand signal, with the inside of the hand facing you for proper demonstration, and then another model of the hand down at the side and whatnot. The first shows the devil's horn hand gesture down by a man's side, with the thumb over the ring and middle fingers. The pinky and index is extended up. The second diagram shows a closed fist, the index and pinky folded. The third diagram shows the first diagram's hand gesture with the words open and close repeatedly written underneath it.
Right.
And that's all it says. That's all it is.
May I make a bureaucracy check to see if I recognize anything about what they're doing here?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a bureaucracy roll.
All right. First roll of the season.
Let's go,
Let's
man.
do it. Success, 21 under 60.
So, from what you can tell, the nondescript nature, the instructions, the letter, this is definitely from your other job. if you could even call it a job.
Right.
They're trying to convey to you, if they're showing you gestures for a hand signal, you should likely expect somebody else to be doing the same signal, so that way you two can figure out who the other person is on the operation.
Sure.
And your work with Delta Green in the past, you know that, and I'm factoring your high intelligence into this as well, you're likely going to be working with another individual.
Yeah, some other stupid motherfucker who makes me do their job for him.
Exactly. As you're looking this letter over, Elena looks at you and says, "You got some kind of secret admirer there, Scott?" And she's giving you this look.
I look back at her, I smile, say, "Nah, this little crank shit." I start tearing up the letter. "Listen, I know Raja isn't in yet, but I'm gonna need some time off. About a week at least. Thing is, my aunt just died. And
Oh no.
I know, yeah. And look, I know I told you I'm not on speaking terms with my father, but my aunt never did anything wrong by me, so it's only appropriate I should be there."
No, I understand. You got to be there for family. I totally understand. I'll let Mr. Driscoll know when he comes in.
I appreciate that, and try not to let the savages break down the door too much.
She laughs and she tucks some of her hair behind her ear and whatnot, kind of like looking at you but looking away from you. You can't finish up the day, can you?
It'll probably work until midday, but then I really do gotta get on the road. It's a long drive to Albuquerque, and well, after that, you know how flights are.
Oh, you're flying. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, if you could at least...
Yeah, going to Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's where her home is for you.
For better or for worse.
I appreciate you staying for me at least, giving you that look again.
Hey, anytime.
Yeah, so you basically work until about 12:30. The note didn't say about bringing anything, but the ticket is legitimate enough. And yeah, it is from Albuquerque International out to Wichita Mid-Continent. So around 12:30, what do you do?
So before 12:30, around noon, I will walk home, and I will immediately get together my Polaroid camera, my notebook, my .38 caliber revolver and ammo. Put my .38 with my checked baggage. I have my own car. I will drive to Albuquerque from there.
Yeah, it'll be a 3.5-hour drive to Albuquerque International. And you realize that to be there at 7 a.m., it's going to be one of those red-eye flights. Yeah, that you'll be waiting on for a while, it looks like. But yeah, no, you can take your .38 caliber on your check-in luggage, because at that time in 1988, security procedures were not that high at airports in the United States. So yeah, we'll say that you're going to be getting on the plane to Wichita, Kansas at this point, and we're going to move further to the east to a small, very small town to the southwest of La Plata, Maryland. Port Tobacco, Maryland to be specific. For the others, due to the time difference, their day is likely going to be starting around 8:30, 9 a.m. So, Dr. Rufus Kimble, Caius, how is your morning looking for you?
Dr. Kimble wakes up about 4:30 in the morning nowadays. He takes a short jog around the block, comes home, brews a cup of coffee, gets dressed for the day in his work clothes. Just a nice suit and tie and a sweater. And then he cuts across the back alleyway where his home is and enters a little gate, closes and locks it behind him, and then walks across the very sprawling green ground of the Rose Hill Sanatorium that he owns and is the lead psychiatrist of. He will go in, and it takes maybe 1 to 2 minutes for him to get to the actual main building and then get inside of his office and start kind of going through his paperwork and what he needs to start doing for the day.
The Rose Hill Sanatorium is this quaint, almost mansion-style looking sort of building. Definitely older style. 3 stories. And no fence around it. Nothing to keep people from running away. The expectation, it being a women's sanatorium, is that, everybody is there under watch and nobody is really going to escape.
Yeah, there are a couple. There's one main manor building. It was a renovated manor, And then there's a separate building that was built later in the mid-70s. And then further, the grounds are actually quite big. Port Tobacco is very small. This is the biggest fucking thing in a very large radius. There's a small store that is run by patients. There are some small apartment-style buildings way off to the end of the property that are there for long-term patients that are working either towards living independently or who just cannot leave and cannot be reintegrated. And so they're trying to give them some semblance of a regular life.
Okay. Not much has really passed since the day before. No new patients have been admitted under your care. There's a knock on your office door.
Come in.
Door opens, and one of the nurses has like a stack of mail. She walks in, and without a word, just flips through it and then puts the appropriate pieces of mail directed to you on your desk, nods curtly, and then walks out of the room, out of your office, and closes the door behind her.
He's definitely not perturbed by this like cold reaction. Some of the nurses are just not people at this time of the morning.
So you flip through the stacks of mail. Some of it is bills, but there's one in particular that catches your eye. It's no return address, but it's addressed to you. And I'm not going to go through the same description again, but it's basically a plane ticket to Wichita Mid-Continent Airport, telling you to be there at 7 a.m. to look for a black Dodge Ram Charger, and it's a description of the hand signal. You're being called upon by the organization.
He grimaces. He's super not pleased with this. This is a really inconvenient time. They have some new patient that's gonna come in like 2 weeks and he wants to prepare. But so he takes like a couple minutes to just be pissed off, and then we'll start to organize his actual work papers and put in the necessary orders to give himself the week or so leave that he assumes this is going to take.
So yeah, you get all that together. You let some of the other nurses know that you're going to be taking a leave of absence for about a week. Are you going to work out the rest of your day, or are you going to start making preparations now? It's still early in the morning, and you're not expected until 7 a.m. the next day on a Saturday. So you could work out the rest of your day if you wanted to, or you can do other things. It's up to you.
Well, he'll have to spend pretty much the entire day ensuring that the junior and senior doctors that are employed, delegating his workload to them for the next week or so, making sure that they understand what patients they're going to be seeing in lieu of him, making the necessary phone calls to the clients that come to his home office, just to let them know that they can come to the sanatorium to see Dr. Bennett or one of the other providers, but that he will be unfortunately out of the office for the week. So it does take about a day to just get through all of that and make sure that everybody is calm, and because sometimes sudden change can be quite difficult for his patients. So
that makes sense.
It just takes him a minute to make sure that's all set and squared away.
It also occurs to you too, a few things occur to you, given you are also a particularly intelligent individual, is that if you're being given a hand signal, you're likely going to be working with another individual. And then on the back of that, you also realize that you've been called upon for psychological evaluations of other agents, but this seems more like field work, which is something you're not particularly used to or have ever really done, but they do know of your expertise levels in dealing with the human mind. So that you think that there has to be a decent enough reason that they're pairing you up with somebody else and sending you to the middle of fucking nowhere, essentially.
Yeah, he's typically not necessarily called out, or when he is called to the field, it is always after an operation to kind of come in and assess agents and make sure that everybody's squared away, or is institutionalized or lobotomized, whatever. I mean, whatever needs to happen happens.
You specifically, because you deal with the human mind and you're trying to puzzle this out, I want you to give me specifically an N×5 roll.
N×5. That's a 16. Yeah, that's a success.
So another thought occurs to you too. You think that this might be some sort of a test or an experiment of some sort, given that you don't really do field work and you're being paired up with somebody else. So the organization, the group, is testing you out, you think, but you don't know why.
That makes him very uncomfortable.
So once you have completed everything for the day, what does Dr. Kimble do?
He will head home in the same way, goes across the field through a small gate into his backyard. He will grab his typical go bag, which, has basic necessities, clothing, hygiene, his actual and false ID, as well as actual and false CIA identification, about $500 in cash, a couple tabs of acid, and we'll take a standard medical and surgical bag.
Excellent. And you'll hop in your vehicle when at the appropriate time. It'll be a red-eye flight for you specifically because, you have to get to Baltimore, Washington International. That's a little bit of a drive for you, likely an hour and a half. You'll have to wait around until the appropriate time to take off.
He has a small lavender-colored Volkswagen Beetle that he just crumbles his body into to get to
BWI. That's fine.
Yeah.
So we're going to move a little bit up north to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, specifically to the Philadelphia field office of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. It's close to the Benjamin Franklin Bridge that connects Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Vince, you've already taken the 10-minute drive from your apartment to the federal building there. Surprisingly, no one called your car phone this early in the morning, which is something of a relief to you. But at this point, we'll say that you're in the bullpen. Other special agents and employees are moving around, some sitting quietly looking at paperwork. There's talk of suspected communist criminals, gun traffickers, drug dealers, agents trying to put the pieces together to form suitable evidence for arrest, the usual. So, Lukas, what would Vince Peterson be working on at this point in the morning?
So, I was thinking about he drove there to prepare, mostly, because it's a Friday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is the last day of a seminar that he and another agent are giving to the police force, which is mostly about how to, spot different kinds of illegal guns, how to proceed when knowing someone is smuggling shit, stuff like that.
Okay.
It's a 2-day seminar. He's just going to the office. He has 2 hours before the thing starts. They're just gonna be down at one of the closer police stations, I'd say, to the field office. And yeah, he's sitting at his desk. He's looking at all of his notes, maybe grabbing a cup of coffee, chit-chatting with the other agent who supports him.
Okay.
That's basically his early morning.
Yeah, so in the midst of preparing to go down to one of the local precincts, you get up from your desk. Let's just say you're refilling your coffee cup at this point. It's empty, but as you get up and turn around, a young 20-something-year-old brown-haired woman bumps into you, and she has a stack of papers that go flying. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That is so clumsy of me. Jesus." And she starts to bend down and pick up her stuff. "I'm so sorry."
Vince also kneels down. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That happens to the best. And he helps picking up stuff.
Yeah, so she holds out an envelope and says, "I think you dropped this."
No, I don't. And he stops realizing what this
No, this was
is.
definitely in your hands just now, sir. She's smiling, and it's a nice smile, but she's still holding the envelope out.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the envelope. Yeah, guess. Must have dropped it. Thanks.
No, yeah, of course. Not a problem. Again, I'm really sorry about that. It's a good thing you didn't have
He already turned away.
And she notices this, and she stops talking, and you can hear her walk away, her footsteps fading out amongst the chorus of other people who are moving around. So the same deal as everyone else. Inside is a plane ticket to Wichita Mid-Continent Airport to be there at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning looking for a black Dodge Ram Charger and the same hand signal that the others have, that you don't know that the others have. But you can also draw the same conclusion that you're going to be working with somebody else on an operation. You know that this is the telltale sign. You've seen this hand signal before. You know that this is the group calling upon you again. It is unusual that you are going to be working with somebody else, because normally you know these jobs to be solo affairs, and very rarely are they two-person affairs. But since it's still in the morning and whatnot, what do you do with the envelope and everything and the information inside? You still have the full day ahead of you, but I just wanted to know,
Yeah.
what do you do in the meantime?
Well, first of all, I think he calms himself down because he actually gets excited. He looks at the letter and he's happy. And yeah, he puts it away so that others won't see this. And before he finishes his normal day, I'd say, he goes to his boss because obviously there's the weekend, but he doesn't know if that's going to be enough. So yeah, he goes to his boss, just knocks, instantly opens the door without even waiting, and just goes, hey, morning, Steven.
Vince, what can I do for you this morning? Don't you get that seminar later on?
Yeah, I'm gonna, he's looking at his watch. Yeah, I still have half an hour to finish that. Listen, it's just good news that my pops is not doing as fine as of lately. I'm gonna go over there, visit him over the weekend.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, no, just, Monday, Tuesday, I don't know if I can make them. The days are technically free. Don't have anything planned. For an emergency, I'll come in, but if it's alright with you, I'd take, 1 or 2 days off for this.
Yeah, just make sure you fill out a form for HR, just let him know, to do the appropriate thing, take your time off. He's, gesturing his hands around and whatnot. Make sure you fill all that out, okay? Go be with your father.
Yeah, alright, I'm gonna fill everything out. I'm gonna do the seminar, and then I'm gonna visit him. Thanks.
Yeah, take care.
You
go through the rest of your day. You go to the seminar, actually, and as you and your compatriot are standing at the front of the classroom, or the conference room, and you're waiting for all the other officers to fill in, one thing you do notice is the woman from earlier just takes a seat. The one who gave you the envelope is part of the class.
He notices, tries to not really acknowledge it openly, and just goes on with the seminar.
Yeah. So the seminar, we'll say, goes for about 2 hours. Just enough time to break right before lunch for everybody. What do you do at that point? What does Vincent Peterson do at that point?
When he's finished, when he doesn't really have to do anything, he filled out the paperwork for HR. He told a few colleagues that he'll probably be gone Monday, Tuesday, and he goes home, hops in his car, a well-maintained Honda Accord, to prepare his go bag, check his handgun, load a few magazines, and also grabs a few beers on the way home.
Appropriate. Yeah. What does he do at night? Does he just drink the beers until it's time for him to head to the airport? What does that look like for him?
Yeah. He, as I said, he just, goes through his usual routine, makes sure everything at home, well, there's not too much that has to be put away, but he makes sure that everything's as clean and as neatly as he likes it, which doesn't say a lot.
Right.
And yeah, he just lies on his couch when he's sure everything's ready, when his go bag's ready. His little sleeping sofa. And he just lies there drinking, 2 or 3 beers, waiting.
Yeah, puts you into a nice lull, You just feel yourself relax. You feel the warmth of the beer overtake your belly. You stare at the ceiling in between sips. Would you have a TV on?
Probably. A little bit of background noise going on.
Yeah, you don't really care what's on. You just flip it on, and there's some news programs. There's some sitcoms. You don't really land on anything. You just kind of change it occasionally just to get a variation in the noise. But yeah, no, when the time is appropriate, you head out to the airport to begin your overnight red-eye flight into Wichita, Kansas. So finally, we move a little bit further north to New York. It's in the morning for you as well, Eddie. We're looking at the Brooklyn VA Medical Center, close to the Verrazano Narrows Bridge in Brooklyn, New York. It's a 17-story building with smaller buildings dotted around the front and back, and a large parking lot. A large parking lot. A large
Massachusetts accent right there.
Damn it. A large parking lot out back. A chain link fence surrounds the perimeter with 3 strands of barbed wire running its length. It's a hospital. It's bustling. Nurses and doctors are moving about the various floors. Janitors are cleaning bathrooms and hallways. And VA caseworkers sit in their offices taking phone calls and writing reports. One such VA caseworker is Eddie Vittorio. So what is Eddie doing this morning?
Eddie has a pile of work that is just stacked there on his desk. And he looks at it begrudgingly, trying to think of anything else better he could possibly do. The workload over at the VA is frighteningly large for the amount of pay he's getting. The management here is awful. No one knows what's needed. And the cases that he has to work are also complicated and require far too much attention that he cannot divvy out as needed.
You're in a little office, I would gather. So, would you have the door open or closed?
It would likely be unlocked, but I think you just work in cubicles in there.
Okay.
I've seen the offices; they are not great.
Okay. No, that's fine. So it's we'll say that it's like a little cubicle, and it's like those carpeted panel wall section things, you know, that kind of like form around in a square.
That is exactly what they look like.
That's what my work office looks like at the college. So, but probably nicer looking. So.
No, it's
mine.
Last time I went
mine's
there,
nicer looking.
Oh, yours is definitely nicer looking.
So there's like a knock, but it's like a soft kind of knock that's dampened by the carpeted panel walls. It's one of your other coworkers. They come by and they say, "Hey, Eddie, I think this ended up on my desk by mistake. This is actually for you. Don't know why it ended up with me. My name's not Eddie, but you know, here you go." And he just hands you an envelope.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, don't mention it.
And grab it from him.
Hey, you gonna watch the game this weekend?
Yeah, probably. Why?
Do you want to get together?
No, I have to be somewhere with my girlfriend. Sorry.
It's okay. Dame's probably better anyway. You know, I get it. You know, probably a lot more attractive than me. But yeah, no, Dave. Either way, if you change your mind, let me know. Okay.
Sure.
He walks away. Same deal. You open the envelope up. Plane ticket to Wichita Mid-Continent Airport to be there at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Look for a black Dodge Ram Charger. And also, you're familiar with the hand signal etiquette that is on there as well. The fact that there is hand signal etiquette also sticks out to you that you're going to be working with somebody else, it looks like, which is unusual for these sorts of operas. So it's still the morning and whatnot for you, and you still have the full day ahead of you. So what does Eddie Vittorio do? Does he continue working? Does he go and leave? Like, what's that look like for him?
Well, he's got way too much shit to do and not enough time to do it. So he's gonna try and get through the majority of it and hope that he has enough in his go bag for wherever he has to go.
All right, so we'll say that you get home after dealing with the large pile of VA paperwork and cases. What do you take with you?
My go bag's got like 2 days worth of spare clothes, a couple clips of ammo, a compass.
For what kind of gun?
Let's say 1911.
Okay.
I don't know, what else would you usually put in the go bag?
IDs, cash, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
You do have your
I
Marine
have
ID badge, so...
I do have my fake ID. We'll go ahead and put that in there.
Yeah, that you got from an old Vietnam buddy.
And a pair of wire cutters, probably a utility knife.
Okay. Yeah, all those things.
Stuff to make fires, first aid kit, etc. It's not too bad. Basically, just enough to fill up the backpack. And I am going to leave a voicemail for my girlfriend. Say that I'm going to be out of town for the weekend.
Okay.
And I am going to head to the airport to LaGuardia. Get on that flight.
Yeah, LaGuardia is not that far from where you live in Brooklyn. You know, you get there, you're still going to be waiting a few hours because it's going to be a red-eye flight, but you eventually board your flight and you make your way to Wichita Mid-Continent Airport. So, getting through airport security is a relatively easy affair from your all's takeoff destinations. And upon landing in the morning, it is already hot. The airline announced the temperature as being 87 degrees Fahrenheit, and for our fellow German, that's about 30 degrees Celsius, and is expected to be at a high of 98 degrees or 36 degrees Celsius by the late afternoon. Separately, you all grab whatever luggage you would have brought if you had any luggage. Likely you all had your carry-ons. And you make your way through arrivals to the outdoors. I need everybody to roll alertness for me, as you see a black Dodge Ram Charger sitting in the arrival lane at a distance.
I rolled a 76 under 80.
You want to say that again, Lukas?
Yes, I rolled a 76 under 80.
You mean a 67?
Fuck you. Yeah, 67. I'm sorry.
8 under 60.
Also, is Jan alive?
Yep.
Can you roll alertness, please?
He's not falling asleep.
Yep.
We're
Roll alertness.
full
Yeah,
circle.
absolutely.
Not
Bringing it
this
full
time.
circle back to the very first shit we recorded.
All right, alertness is 40%, so let's give that a shot real quick. Failure, critical fail, 44 over 40.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's a 53 over 20.
Vince and Eddie, you see the black Dodge Charger. All four of you see it. Everybody starts doing the hand signal. Only two of you are looking around and notice three other people doing it. Of particular interest to Vince and to Eddie, there is a gigantic man who is headed in the direction of this vehicle, who is at least 6 feet 7 inches tall. This would be Dr. Kimble.
Damn.
Scott, you're just looking straight ahead. You're walking towards the black Ram Charger. The door to the Ram Charger opens, and a portly man who looks to be in his late 50s, wearing a cowboy hat, aviator sunglasses, sporting an unkempt mustache, a short sleeve, brown button-up shirt, blue jeans and cowboy boots, walks around, and he leans against the passenger side of the Ram Charger. And as you all get closer, and you all seem to kind of converge on each other, and you all at this point look around and notice that there are 4 of you, instead of each of you expecting at least one other person. And whoever wants to go first can describe how they look to each other. Let's, Lukas, let's start with Vince.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, Vince isn't too tall. He's like 5'11". He currently wears just like normal jeans and a pretty plain gray shirt to that. He has the duffel bag over his shoulders where all of his, well, quote-unquote gear is stored in, and yeah, he's looking around. He has gray-brown eyes, pretty bushy mustache, no beard otherwise, just a mustache, and wavy shoulder-length hair that's camped back a little bit.
Dr. Kimble, describe yourself, please.
Yeah, so as mentioned previously, Dr. Kimble is 6'7", so he is a big motherfucker. He's also a little overweight. He strikes you as somebody that maybe had been a bit of a string bean his whole life, and then hit his 30s and was like, oh, my body holds weight now, and just never managed to fix that. So he's about, 250 or so pounds. He's got a black and gray comb-over. It's all the rage these days, the comb-over. And a kind of shitty facial hair situation. His mustache is sort of full, and then he's just sort of got like that sparse, neck beardy almost kind of vibe. It just looks like he doesn't really give a shit about maintaining all of that. It looks fine. It's just not beautiful. And he's got a pair of just thin, wire-framed reading glasses.
Scott, describe yourself, please.
All right. So Scott Macallan is average height, athletic build, 5'11", curly brown hair. I got a big old thick chevron mustache, and I dress about a decade behind the times. So got that nice 1970s big old wide top collar going on. Yeah, let's just say that I do kind of stick out in the crowd, but not in a good way.
And finally, Eddie, describe yourself, please.
Eddie's a young guy. He's clean-shaven. He's got jet black hair, crew cut. He has a chiseled jawline. He has kind of a wide nose, thin eyebrows. He's got on a black t-shirt with an army gray jacket, and he's got on khakis and boots.
Okay. And so, as you all get closer, the man in the cowboy hat, glasses, and cowboy boots, he looks up, sees the 4 of you approach, cocks an eyebrow particularly at Dr. Kimble. Then he walks to the back of the Ram Charger, pops open the back lid, and he goes around to the other side, and you can hear the car door open, and he gets in the driver's seat. What do you all do?
No questions. Just gonna walk in.
So there are 3 bucket seats in the back of this Ram Charger, which requires whoever's going to be riding shotgun to pull their seat forward first. And speaking of, who's riding shotgun and who's sitting in back? I feel like the answer may be obvious, but let's hear it.
Where will I fit?
Probably up front.
Is Kimble's immediate thought. In front? Okay, then he probably will head to the front.
Yeah.
I think Kimble still assumes right now that he's here to observe these 3 potentially, or that maybe we're all going to observe somebody. So he's, looking around. He's visibly the oldest. He's in his late 50s. So I think at this point he thinks that maybe he's in charge of this group, or it's not like he's totally lost. So he'll go for shotgun.
Presumably the other 3 of you will pile into the back.
Yep.
You all get in, and once the portly-looking man sees that you're all in, he starts up the ignition. Initially, a loud country song starts playing out of the radio, and then he turns it down. You see he checks his mirror, flips on his blinker, and then he pulls onto the road. Once he gets going a little bit, he says, "I'm Harley Haney. Man, I'm so excited that the group brought you guys to me. Trust me when I tell you this one is going to be a weird one. I can't wait."
Now, define weird here, Harley. What you talking about?
Oh, not here. Back at my home, though, where we can get more comfortable. Do any of you talk amongst each other?
Could I run a human just because I think Kimble is like, oh shit, I've gotten in the car of this man who's clearly deranged.
Oh, so, okay.
It is taking us to his home.
Yeah.
So, your human is 70. You don't need to roll for this, actually. Yeah. You get the kind of sense that this is a man who, he seems eager. He doesn't strike you as being a dumb person, but he definitely does strike you as maybe being a little bit naive just from his demeanor and everything.
Mm-hmm. But it's not like a manic sort of fervor.
You get the sense that he's excited to be part of something just based off of his body language and everything.
Okay.
Would anybody else want to roll human if they have it?
No.
Yeah, this guy's intimidating, so I'd like to
Yeah, go ahead.
case him. We got a 10, under 60.
Yeah, for the viewers, 72 over 50 failure for human.
That's because he's falling asleep. I'm gonna reach my leg over and kick his seat.
What the fuck?
Don't fall asleep on me.
I bite my tongue a bit and just glare.
Yeah, so, Eddie, the sense that you get from this man who calls himself Harley Haney definitely strikes you as maybe former law enforcement based on his demeanor and how you've seen guys like him act who've come through the VA and whatnot. Like guys who were in the service and then, they have their benefits, but then they take another job like as law enforcement and they still, come to the VA every so often. He strikes you as likely being retired. You've kind of also seen the look of this kind of man before in people that have come through the VA. He's the kind of guy who, maybe he's having a midlife crisis, maybe he's not, but he's also in his mid to late 50s, so is the midlife crisis ongoing? It's kind of hard to say, but he just seems quite eager. Do you guys talk amongst yourselves, or do you just let him ride the rest of the way?
Speaking about eager, Vince is gonna just crash in the conversation and go, "So, how far is it? We're all here already. Why can't we just, get this started, get this shit going?"
Back at my house. Back at my house. Plus,
Yeah, don't you know that's where he likes it weird?
that's where all my notes are, okay? Why do you gotta be like that? But not here in the car, alright? Let's just... And to answer your question, sir, it's about another hour or so.
Does he seem paranoid? Is that...
No. Maybe a little bit of a hangdog kind of demeanor going on, but no, not paranoid.
It's like a stickler for the rules.
Alright, so another hour, huh?
Yeah.
So is this, what is this, a four-man job, or?
Apparently so. Your group apparently wanted you four to come here and deal with the situation, if you will. So,
Hey, can you crack a fucking window? It's roasting in here.
oh yeah,
I'm
sure,
sweating
sure,
my balls off.
sure, yeah. He does the hand crank, rolls down the window.
God damn.
As soon as he starts doing that, I pull out a cigarette from my breast pocket and light it up.
Don't do this.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea.
This is a brand new car. Please don't do that in here.
Why? Shit's healthy for you. Don't worry about it.
You actually believe that stuff?
Oh, no, I don't. I just look him straight into the face, as if I'm just made the best joke ever.
He just sighs and just focuses on the road ahead.
I take just a single long drag on the cigarette, burn it down to ash in one pull, and flick it out the window.
Yeah, I'm lighting up too. I'm just gonna ask you for a cigarette, though. I probably forgot mine.
So the whole back row is smoking.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
That's
Just-
typical. Yeah. Actually, let me see if he noticed.
Yeah,
Let me-
just
hold
back of
on.
Campbell's.
I need to make a roll for something for him real quick. Nah, he's keeping his eyes on the road as you all are doing this. He kind of looks over at you, Dr. Kimble, and he says, "Are you going to light up too?"
No, I do not partake.
That's smart. That's for the best.
So is this not a psychological investigate? Like, are we not coming in to evaluate
It'll.
somebody? Is this not?
He kind of like reaches out with his arm like this, not to like pat you, but like he's miming the air patting you, like just not. It'll just let me do my thing when we get to my house, you know. My wife thinks that I'm having friends over, so like just kind of act like you're my friends and whatnot. All right.
Right. I'm just asking to the rest of the car.
That should come natural to you, buddy.
Are you not all medical professionals?
Oh, absolutely not.
I full on cackle when he says that. Nah, but I'm sure we all need to see a shrink around here.
Well,
Oh, don't fucking tell me.
what?
No.
What
They
exactly?
didn't say nothing about working with no shrink.
I mean, they didn't say anything about anybody we were working with.
Just fucking typical.
So, let's maybe use that hour. You know, guys, use that hour. Let's see if we all have to work together anyways. We can just get to know each other a little bit more.
Oh,
Hey,
no. Haney speaks up. Oh, the group specifically said you all four are to work together.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, if we all have to work together, we can get to know each other. I mean, your house is what? Another 50 minutes away? What are we gonna do? Sit in silence? Listen to some country? Nah, man.
I actually like the idea. Let's all sit in contemplative silence. Just kind of think about things for a minute.
So what we're gonna actually do is we're gonna cut ahead.
Or we just like they spend the whole time just like fighting, bickering in the
Yeah,
backseat.
there's a lot of just shit slinging, like random insults, a lot of venom from Scott in the back seat. Before long, you guys are driving through the suburbs. Haney drives the Ram Charger onto a street full of, let's just say, modest-sized McMansions. And he stops a few blocks down from one, and he gets out and he pulls his seat forward, and he says, "Listen, like I said, my wife is home, but she isn't going to bother us. Hopefully. So just follow me, okay?" And he starts walking down the sidewalk, like stopping his pace a little bit. He looks back over his shoulder at you guys to make sure you're following him or you're going to follow him. And then he's going to begin to turn right into a driveway, walking into this driveway.
As soon as I see the kind of house he's pulling up to, my face just falls immediately.
Kimble is very comfortable with this kind of like wealth and just follows immediately, just not even a little bit perturbed or taken aback.
I'm just surprised, is all. But I'm following.
Yeah, same.
So it's clear that this McMansion that you all are following him into, particularly for you, Eddie, since you made that connection, if he's former law enforcement, this house is not the result of his former salary and likely his pension. From your guys' view, this house is pretty spacious. And as he leads the four of you inside, the house is replete with this like kitschy Western art. And there's what look to be family photos on the walls. You all catch glimpses of Haney with a woman, two young girls, and a boy, which you could likely surmise to be his wife, two daughters, and a son at various stages in their life. You can hear humming coming from the back of the house, likely towards the kitchen. It's a feminine sort of humming. There is a recent photo that you all kind of see on one of the walls. It's recent, and it shows the five of them together. And it's definitely Haney, but he also is there with his wife, who appears to be in her mid-50s. The two daughters appear to be in their early to mid-20s, and the son looks like he's a teenager in high school still. You also see another photo of Harley Haney's wife in some sort of factory wearing a hard hat and a safety vest, smiling broadly while holding some kind of award with Harley standing next to her and smiling. And from the back of the house, "Harley, is that you, dear?" "It's me, Sugar Bun, just bringing some friends over to talk about some things. We'll be going downstairs now." "Okay, sounds good. Hey, did Michael come home last night, do you know?" "I'm not sure, hun. I'm sorry." And then he gestures for you all to go down into the basement with him. It's just like a standard, like, narrow affair with, like, the faux wood paneling on either side. And you're walking down. And inside there is this finished basement. More of this varnished wood paneling. The downstairs area here, it's been furnished with a recliner, a couch, a television set, a dartboard on one wall, and a bunch of old football trophies shelved on the walls. There's also a small little, like, wet bar, mini bar in the corner. The carpet around the recliner, it's littered with tissues, bags of chips, some empty, some half full, a white plastic garbage bag, a pair of flip-flops, and you see a back massager that's sitting on the recliner itself. What really draws your all's eye is a massive gun cabinet along one of the back walls. You all see various bolt-action hunting rifles, at least 3 pump-action shotguns, crazily enough, 2 Uzi submachine guns, 2 Ruger Mini 14s, a couple handguns, and what may look like 1 or 2 flashbang grenades. He takes off his cowboy hat and aviators, and you see he's got a greasy, balding haircut and narrow brown eyes, and he sits the back massager on the floor next to the recliner and sits down in it. And he gestures to you all to the couch to sit. And then he goes, wait a sec. And then he gets up, goes behind the minibar, and you hear him moving some items aside. And you see him come back with a notepad and a pen. And he sits down. You gentlemen comfortable? Need anything? Oh, and please don't mind this. He limply waves the notepad up in the air before you. "I needed to get my thoughts down proper before reporting to your officer or boss or whoever, so I'll be reading from this. There is some new information I learned as of last night that I haven't had the chance to tell your bosses, but I think it's tied into why they want you all here. But before I go on, you guys need anything?"
Take some scotch if you got it.
Yeah,
Anything goes.
help yourselves, gentlemen. Behind the bar over there, there's some glasses back there. And he points.
I'll go fix myself something.
Yeah, same.
Kimble just shakes his head.
Vince just grabs himself the cheapest fucking liquor he can find and pours himself a glass.
Kimble will find a comfortable chair to sit in.
So he looks down at the notepad and he says, "Justin Baines, a PR manager for the Amateur Cowboy Association Summer Loco Showcase Tour. He was murdered in Stafford, Kansas last night around 10:30 p.m. I'll call it the ACA going forward. That's a mouthful. As far as the Stafford police chief is concerned, Baines was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they're considering it a closed case from what I was able to pick up on. The rest of what I passed on to your group, in addition to that, is presumably why you're called here. There's been a bunch of crimes that have followed the ACA. 5 days ago, August 1st, a man named Dennis Eisenhart was found dead outside of the Salina, Kansas fairgrounds in the morning. Dennis Eisenhart, he's the heir to the local Eisenhart trucking empire, by the way. More on that in a bit. There was a bit of a brouhaha in our news due to a photograph of Dennis's corpse being leaked, showing him all mangled up. They attributed his death to an animal attack, but contacts of mine said Dennis was found buried in a shallow grave. Now, I don't know about you, but animals don't tend to bury their prey after killing them. Well, not many anyway. The ACA had been there over that weekend. So then I started to look backwards at where the ACA had been previously, right? Here's the next strange bit. Last month in July, up north close to the Nebraska border, there was a report of 2 grave robberies. Each occurred on a particular weekend when the ACA had been doing a show. Now, tonight, The ACA is doing a show in Stafford, the day after this Justin Baines fellow was murdered. Something's up with that rodeo association, and your group wants you to go to Stafford, see what the hell is up with the ACA show, and stop whatever's happening. They think that these grave robberies and killings seem to be connected to each other. Any questions? It's kind of what I got.
So, he's a cowboy?
Yeah, maybe. It might be. Who knows? And there's a knock on the basement door, and Haney stops speaking, and it opens. Harley, hon, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I figured I'd be remiss if I didn't offer your friends anything to eat or drink. And then, in kind of a voice that's addressed to all four of you, would you fine gentlemen like some coffee and muffins? They're banana and walnut. Made them this morning. And Harley shoots sort of a pained look at the basement stairway, and he says, Barbara, I'm sure they're fine. We're trying to talk, you know. And then footsteps.
Coffee would be great. I'm falling asleep over here. Some coffee would be excellent.
Haney noticeably winces, and his wife gets down to the bottom of the stairs. She's fairly attractive. You think that when she was in her 20s or 30s, she was like a hot number, and his wife smiles like huge. Well, I'll just leave them over here on the bar if any of you boys want them. I'm just happy to see Harley having some friends over is all. I love you, hon. I'm sorry to bother, but you all help yourselves, okay? And she disappears back up the stairs, humming some sort of a tune, and closes the door softly. And yeah, on a large tray is a pot of still steaming coffee with a carafe for cream, a dish for sugar, some stirring spoons, and a plate of banana walnut muffins, and the smell of which is fresh, hot, and it's amazing right now at this hour as it's filling the basement area.
I avoid the muffins, but I definitely go get myself, pour myself a big old mug of black coffee. He's too good for you, Javi.
It's Harley, but yeah, I know.
That's what I said, Javi.
He shakes his head. Women. Can't fault her for being a gracious host, though. Yeah, help yourselves. The muffins really are out of this world, though. You're missing out. He points over to you, Scott.
I'm watching my figure.
Kimble absolutely grabs a muffin.
And it is a fantastic fucking muffin.
I ate on the flight.
More for me.
Big guy, if you could grab me also one of those, look pretty good.
That's the whole thing. If we address that this one guy is like twice the size of everyone else.
Nobody has said anything except for saying big guy. Kimble knows you're talking to him, and so he just tosses one.
Thanks.
Is the coffee there too? Because I'll just get coffee.
Cream and sugar and all that jazz. It smells good. It smells like some sort of fancy brand that you probably haven't had before. Better than the crap you drank when you were in Vietnam, for sure.
Just taking it black.
Take a big old swig. This is some gourmet shit.
Coffee is pretty good. So anyway, here's more of what I know. So Justin Baines is from out of state, and he was apparently shot by a transient. He was representing an up-and-coming cowboy named Spencer the Stalker Dixon. Baines' body is being kept at the Stafford County Medical Examiner and Coroner in Great Bend. As for Dennis Eisenhart, he was young, going to law school, and he was a partner in his mom's business, Eisenhart Transport. Now, the Eisenhart family is well regarded among the local agricultural business elite around here. Their company has started to expand into Oklahoma and Nebraska. Now, there's rumors that the family smuggled alcohol during Prohibition and are still involved in shadier stuff, but nothing's ever really been proved. Ma Eisenhart is head of the family. Everyone calls her Ma. Her eldest son, Grant, he's a NAM veteran, something of an enforcer. Ma's daughter, Amanda, went to KSU for agricultural business. She's average girl, average grades. Hired on after college to work in the family business. Ma's husband, Gunter, originally ran the business, but he got a stroke some years back, and now he lays infirm and all laid up in their house. That's sort of the rundown of what I know about them being as they're local to Stafford. Stafford is about an hour from here, by the way. There's a map in the glove compartment of the Ram Charger, which, by the way, that's all yours is now. Whoever wants to... You know what? He reaches into his pocket, pulls out the keys, and he tosses the keys to you, Kimble.
Oh, Okay. He kind of looks at the rest of the group to see if anybody else wants to drive.
You're not comfortable with driving?
I'm fine driving in my hometown, but my license has quite a few provisions on when and where I'm allowed to drive, so if one of you
Just
could...
throw him over.
Alright, he just tosses it.
Yeah.
Harley takes a bite of the muffin that he had grabbed for himself, and he says, "Now, as for the grave robberies, there were 2 exhumed during the first and 3 during the second. All have been long dead, with tombstones being so worn over the police couldn't tell who the hell they were. Since police up north haven't seemed to find the corpses yet, I'm calling that a dead end. But it just adds to the strangeness of it all, right? Now,
I'm gonna hold my hand up.
yes,
You people don't keep a record of graves around here?
we keep a record of the graves, but we don't keep track of when bodies are stolen.
Well, sure. But if a body is taken from a grave and you have a record of the grave, doesn't matter if the headstone's worn down or not, you can find out who was put there. I mean, fuck's sake. What are your people doing down here?
Well, as you can see, obviously not fucking taking care of their graves.
Do you want to know the rest of the information or not?
Sure, I'm all ears.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, thank you. That stuff's out of my hands. I'm retired, okay? Anyways, the ACA and their local showcase tour, that's an opportunity for the ACA to bring rodeos to small towns throughout the Midwest and sort of kind of like break in rising stars who are on their way to being pro. Locals like the opportunity to test their own prowess out against these cowboys, and honestly, it's kind of fun. Everyone dresses up in cowboy hats, boots, they bring their nicest pistol. And then he stops and he looks down at himself. Huh. I know you might be thinking I'm like them given my choice of dress, but there's a difference between thinking it and living it, you know? But anyways, there's often rumors of gambling being done on the rodeo circuit, which is illegal, but people will do what people do, you know? I do know that the ACA contracts with a company called Midwest Fairtech Media for lighting, sound, transport, animal handling. Could be some weird shit there, too. Who knows? As for the Spencer Dixon guy, his story is well known. He competed in his first rodeo in Coffeyville in July of 1977. He was signed on to the ACA in August of 1977. Been undefeated ever since. His whole shtick is he brands himself like a mystery man, wearing black clothing and a bandana to cover his face like some sort of masked desperado. Pretty cool, honestly. But that's his whole thing. But if he just kind of pauses and thinks, and like his mouth agape, closes it, uses the opportunity to take a sip of coffee and a bite out of a muffin, and he says, "Any questions so far?"
You said this Dixon dude. He had a fucking by name? What do you say, stalker?
Nickname, yeah. Like that's just like his persona on the rodeo circuit. The stalker is his name.
All right, so that's just his rodeo name, and not anything outside of rodeo, or
No.
What's his?
I mean,
deal?
he. I've heard some folks say that he likes to cover his face up all the time, to kind of like be in character, so to speak. You know, like preserve the mystery of what he looks like. Not many people have really seen his face, is my understanding, but I don't really think much of it. You know, he's just playing a character. Let the man live out his fantasy, I guess.
This guy hasn't been an issue in the past?
No, not at all. From my understanding, I mean, he's clearly something went down with the Eisenharts and his manager, enough for the manager to end up dead. But he kind of like leans in conspiratorially, even though this is his own home and whatnot. And he's like, "The Stafford police chief is as corrupt as they come."
Oh, ain't that a surprise?
I didn't learn any of this information from him. I learned it from intermediaries and cutouts and people I know around Stafford and up in Salina and whatnot. So you could try and talk to him, but you know that he's a kind of man that really likes to. He's all about appearances, you know. Like he likes to look out for himself and protect his position. Something to keep in mind. I don't like the man that much, but you could try if you wanted to.
The Eisenharts, the family. From where exactly are they based?
Oh,
Are they based
they're
from
in Stafford. Yes, sir. Now, I don't know what could come of this, but he gestures to the gun cabinet behind him. You're free to take and use whatever you want. I don't particularly care. Pick your poison. Obviously, some things are going to draw more attention than others. He specifically is pointing at the Uzis. Maybe don't take those. I also kind of like those. You know, they're nice. But they would definitely draw attention and whatnot. Also, if you're going to carry your weapons around, don't go flashing them around. Don't really let people know that you have them and whatnot.
Got a duffel bag down here?
I could probably get one of those. And he gets up, he like, you know, kind of deals off of the recliner, goes to like a small closet, pulls out like a faded gray duffel bag.
So we have a cowboy manager shot, the trucking empire heir found mangled to death and buried, and grave robberies when the American Cowboy Association was in town.
Yes.
These all seem a bit of a stretch as far as being related to each other. Why are we all here? Why couldn't it just be one of us doing this job?
That part, I don't rightly know, sir. It's the belief of your group that, again, he leans in conspiratorially. Between you and me, I think they're doing some sort of experiment or test or something, you know? Like, I've helped a few of you guys out in the past, but it's only ever been one of you. But now there's 4 of you, so maybe they're trying to see how you guys can work together as a group or something. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm just the guy who's connecting everything together. But look. Can I come with you, please? Can I help out?
What?
Everybody give me a human roll.
Do I need to roll, or do I just get that?
Everybody roll.
All right.
Everybody roll that human. All right, let's see if I can get it this time.
That's a success.
Damn.
Oh.
Success is a
Success, 3 under 50.
Okay.
Everybody succeeded.
Yeah, success 4 under 10.
59 under 60.
Hell yeah.
So the general impression that you all kind of see now that you've talked with him and now that he's just sitting there, he's kind of got this like pleading look in his eyes, like he needs to do this. He needs to go out and help. But most of you are trained at this and know the risks that are involved. And you get the sense that this guy hasn't dealt with any of that before. But he's desperate to help, and he seems like he's desperate to prove himself. But a man who is in his late 50s, mid 50s, trying to prove himself at this point, there's something else going on there, you think. Whether or not you want him to come with you, that would be up to you guys.
I'm gonna take a look at him and just say, buddy, you got a wife, kids, a mansion. You want to throw that away to go on one of these fucking nightmare jobs?
Roll me persuaded plus 20%.
Okay. 4 at under 70.
So Haney looks at you seriously, and his face kind of falls a little bit, but he's like, "No, you're absolutely right, sir. No, damn it, that was foolish of me to even suggest. I'm sorry. Look, I won't come with you, but I can try and help you out in any other way that I can. Is there anything you want me to try and do? Anything I can?
Don't worry about it. You're already doing your best. Well, we're getting those guns. You got us all the information. Just give us your number, and we're gonna call you if we need another man. How about that, huh?
Okay. Yeah. No. That sounds good. Yeah.
Every mission can use a little background help. Little background.
Yeah. No. I that makes sense. Yeah. He goes to the notepad and he scribbles down the phone number to the house.
Yeah, when he does that, I just turn around and give a little hand signature of like, no.
I just give a slow nod.
Yeah.
And he turns back around and he hands you the slip of paper with his phone number.
Kimble just says, make sure that you go and look for your son. It seems like it's not a very safe time for him to be out and about.
Oh, don't worry about him. He spends time with friends and he goes over to their houses, and we're trying to it's we're moving into a new time and a new era, my wife says, and we should trust him a little bit and whatnot. I mean, my daughter's turned out fine. I raised the kids right, so I don't think he's up to anything bad. I can't be afraid of everything, sir.
No, of course not. But there's been a rise in these how do they call it? Serial killers? Serial killings? It's just good to keep an eye on your kids, make sure you know where they're at. Especially in any sort of gestures at like the notepad, especially considering what's going on tonight.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, couldn't hurt to call his friend's house. You're right. I mean, I'll be here if you think of anything that I could use. I used to be before I retired, I was a master trooper out here. You know, I hold pretty high sway with the locals and whatnot. And, you know, if you need any other sort of help, I can stay on the background and whatnot. And I can, you know, yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind, I say as I hold up the, like, folded paper. Don't worry about it. If we need help, we get back to you.
Is there a good store there where we can get some kind of cowboy garb?
Absolutely fucking not.
He ignores you.
Okay, I mean, if you want to stick out like
Scott,
a sore thumb.
and he turns to you, Kimble, and he says, yeah, there actually is a place in Stafford that does sell that kind of stuff. It's definitely pretty touristy, but yeah, no. He kind of like runs his finger between the four of you. You all do kind of stick out like a sore thumb, like you're not from around here, so you may want to try and blend in a little bit.
Ah, shit, what gave it away?
Are you from Boston?
No, I'm from Worcester.
What's the difference? He looks at the other three of you.
I just go pour myself some more coffee.
Yeah, so you got the keys to the Charger. Don't say anything to my wife. She doesn't know I got that vehicle. I still haven't told her yet. That's why I didn't park in the driveway.
You bought that yourself and you're giving it to us.
Well, the group paid for it.
Oh, I was about to call you an idiot, but that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I didn't park in the driveway. I didn't want my wife to freak out because, you know, I have a new vehicle and whatnot. I mean...
It's not under your name, is it?
No. Cash. I know a guy who knows a guy.
Well, that's good.
So, I mean, if you gentlemen don't have anything else for me, I guess you should get to investigating. The festival is, the rodeo shows later tonight. Oh, here, he goes back behind the bar. You know, they've been kind of advertising this for a little bit now, and they actually got a map of, like, the fairgrounds and everything where it's taking place and whatnot. And so, he goes back behind, and this is when I give you all a handout.
Ooh.
So we'll just say that this is a more stylized looking version of what it would look like in a brochure, but for your all's purposes, this is what the where the rodeo, where the fairgrounds are going to be and take place. And he says there's some maps in the glove box that I got you all. Map of the area of Stafford and the general area and whatnot. And you gentlemen should be all set, I guess. He turns to you, Vince, and says, please do call me if you need anything. I am willing to help in any way that I can.
Understood you, loud and clear, don't worry about it. But now, we're gonna pack up some guns, and you go look for your little one, huh?
Take what you need, and like I said, though, you know, I'm sure you all know this, just don't flash around the bigger stuff or the more exotic stuff in public, you know, that would draw the ire of the police. You don't need me to tell you that.
It's actually, I had a question about the Uzis. Are they a fixed wooden stock or are they a folding stock?
Folding. They're both folding.
Also, question, are they 45 caliber or 9mm?
Roll me a firearms check.
Yeah, I will absolutely do so. That is...
Just from, like, looking, you know.
Success, 3160.
From Scott's perspective, judging how the magazines look sticking out of the pistol grip of them, one is a 9mm, the other's 45.
All right.
I'm just gonna take a hunting rifle. Is it scope?
It is.
I'm gonna ask Harley, have you calibrated these recently?
Always. Gotta make sure you're ready for anything. I'm a proud gun owner, come on now. Second Amendment is everything.
I'm gonna grab that, and I'm gonna look for a box of rifle cartridges.
Yep, those are there.
I'm just gonna take the box. I'll bring whatever I don't use back. Unless you just want me to can them. Whatever works better for you.
Doesn't matter to me. That's why look, this is... They're all functional, but they're also displayed for a reason. But now you all are using them. My other stuff, I got more stuff than this, but you don't need to worry about that, he says with a little smile on his face.
Don't hold out on us.
Man's got to keep his secrets, you know.
Well, You fucking brought us into your house with your wife bringing us muffins. What about fucking secrets? Come on.
Alright then, keep your secrets.
He says nothing.
Kimble is just housing muffins. He's not even looking at the gun case. He's waiting for you guys to finish.
Yeah, get this fucking 6'7" dude just piling muffins into his mouth.
Yeah.
Vince uses the time to like get the grey duffel bag and he puts in 2 shotguns, 1 hunting rifle. If Eddie wants to, like he opens the bag and holds it up to you so you could put the gun in, because obviously we don't want to sling that thing on your fucking bag and walk around with it. So you want to store it? Come on.
Yeah, throw it in the duffel bag. Hey Harley, you got up armor?
That's the one thing I don't have, unfortunately.
Make without it.
I mean, you got more than enough firepower there to take out a small village if you wanted to.
Oh, I think we should be good.
He nods.
This looks like enough. So, where we want to start?
Well, how about we start by getting us a place to sleep?
There is a place in Stafford that you can stay at if you so desire. The Stafford Motor Inn, probably be your best bet. Small, only place in town. Don't think people would be filling it up, because if people are coming all over for the fair, they may just drive in from out of town, you know, from the nearby areas. So you might be able to get something there. I mean, if you're lucky, you could get a room for each of you, but you may have to maybe shack up together or something. I don't know how you boys feel about that, but, you know, your call. So yeah, you guys have loaded up these duffel bags. You have this information about what to do. The action is in Stafford. What do you guys want to do next?
How far outside of Stafford are we right now?
Well, the handy
Where are we on this map?
You're in Wichita.
Yeah, that's 1.5 hour
Wichita.
drive to Stafford.
Right.
We know that
So we should try and find a place near Stafford.
Yeah,
then.
because I don't really
because
want to
we know that
stay
the-
at the Stafford Motor, and that's like literally in the thing that we want to investigate. Like,
There is Great Bend, 45 minutes to the north of Stafford.
To be fair, this might not be an operation where we need a place to sleep. If it's happening tonight and we're investigating something happening tonight,
Yeah, you have a couple hours.
it could
to
just
check
be a
everything
one-time.
out.
Yeah.
Okay. Leave this shit in the car and head there tonight.
I mean, I think we should head to the coroner's office first and foremost to get any information we can.
Harley's going to say to that, you know, actually, I told you that the police chief in Stafford, Elijah, that's his name, he's as corrupt as they come, but I kind of have my way with him. You give me a few hours, I might be able to get you access and whatnot.
Why would CIA credentials work?
Oh, no, you don't want to do that around here with these people. You don't want to do that. No. Let me roll something real quick, actually.
Uh-oh.
during that time, Vince just looks at him and goes, CIA, come on. You're officially not working, not allowed to work in country, you know?
Harley raises his eyebrow. Well, I'm not going to question where you all come from. The group, they've told me I shouldn't be asking you boys, like, that's why I haven't asked for your names yet. And I don't want to know your names. You were never here. That's what they say. So, I don't want to know any more about you boys. I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that bit about the CIA.
Hey, I have the credentials.
What
haven't
did
said
I
it's legitimate
just
or
say,
not.
Stretch? I don't want to know anymore. Am I clear? Plausible deniability.
Kimble just kind of huffs and eats another muffin.
My wife could probably get you another 2 or 3 if you want. She's probably making more.
If I could have the recipe and 2 or 3 more, that would be
She's
great.
not going to give you the recipe, Stretch. I'm sorry.
Why are you worrying about recipes right now?
He huffs again. These are good muffins.
They are good muffins. I'll give you that, sir.